Guys, what's going on? How are you? Jacqueline Jax from AVA Live Radio. So, in going along with my daily theme today, which is how difficult roads lead to beautiful, beautiful, and inspiring destinations, I wanted to jump on and give you some really good tips. So, this is actually going to be a YouTube video that you'll be able to access later if you're not here on the live streams. If you're on the live streams, then you're going to get to see this right now, but you'll have to go to YouTube if you miss the live streams. So, don't go anywhere if you want to hang out and do it right now. Otherwise, you will be able to get the video eventually on YouTube because I'm live streaming there at AVA Live Radio. Okay, so how to get 1 to 4 to 5,000 new followers on Instagram today. This is cool. I've actually done this. And I don't know why I stopped doing it. I guess I stopped focusing on building my Instagram account. I just started focusing just on who was there. And I got busy because, I work full time at the radio station and I'm not primarily just on Instagram. But I really love the idea that you can build your entire world on Instagram. So if you guys really want to know this, then here I am. So the big thing on Instagram is each profile that you have, whether you have 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever, it has to be focused, because whatever you're going to do to promote this one account that you have, or each account you have, it has to serve a primary purpose. And when it serves a primary purpose, it serves the audience. And if it serves the audience, it will grow a lot faster than if you have an Instagram account that's just doing everything and trying to serve too many people. Does that make sense? So, this will be an easy thing that will go on to build your Instagram page if you're willing to focus your Instagram page. Now, if you're a musician, which a lot of my followers are, then I'm going to speak in terms of art or music or a business. So say you're a fitness person, or you're a blogger, or you're a fashion person, right? You don't want to use your Instagram page to go too outside of that focus. And the reason why is because the better the content is in those first 9 all the time, the more likely people are to follow you when you do these next things. Okay, does that make sense? Now think of the people that you usually follow and you interact with. You interact with them because they don't switch up their content with you, right? Like they stay kind of very focused. You can count on it. If it's a musician, they're probably posting music videos, they're posting behind the scenes photos, they're doing high quality images that you really dig, it's really cool. They stand out, right? So when you're scrolling, which our habit on Instagram is to scroll really fast and go through things, on the stories and do this. So you need the images to pop and stand out and not be grainy and not be blurry and not be hard to make out on a tiny screen. All those things need to happen. So content, in a way, is going to lead you off, right? But even if you don't have time to make content all the time and post every day, you could still be getting thousands of followers a month on Instagram. So it's not always just about making new content every day as much as it's about actually taking action on these accounts. So, and having them focused. So say you have your content already done and your content is amazing. It speaks to your audience. It tells them what they need to know about you. You look at it and you're like, wow, that looks phenomenal. It's really good. It's got a nice mix of video. It's got a nice mix of high quality photos. It's got like your professional photos as well as your behind the scenes stuff. You've got like some greetings in there, personal stuff, like where you're greeting the audience. It's like a nice balance of who you are as an artist, how you do your thing, what you have. Everybody can identify with it. They can see the bio. They know who you are. They get it, right? It's not a question that they don't understand exactly what that profile does. If you have done that with your content, then you're going to do these next few things so that you can start just bringing in people. Now, if the content isn't right, and that's why I started with the content, if it's not focused, if it's like a mix of burgers and fries and nothing to do with music and like the dog and all that stuff, people will be confused. And so then you're asking now a situation where each each post has to live on its own, but it's not really working together, right? To contribute to you building a brand and being something that everybody wants to follow that sees it. That's the difference. A lot of people spend a lot of time posting things that stand on their own, maybe okay, if they use hashtags and they make sense for those hashtags, but they don't make sense when somebody looks at the profile to follow it. And if it's coming, if they're putting out a post out there, let's say, let's just take burgers and fries. If you're putting out a post in there and what you ate, and that makes sense to you for that day, and it's getting short-term results, it won't get long-term results because people aren't going to go to that account and see that it's not about health or fitness or, you know, or food, right? They're going to be like, oh, what is this? Is this music? This is a music account? What does that have to do with burgers and fries? So you see what I mean? So the front face of your Instagram has to be a lot more intentional, a lot more focused, a lot more professional. And that's why nothing else works past that if you don't have it. And it's not that you have to post every day, because like if you could post every day, what that would do is you would look at your insights and you would see that your reach is increasing by like 5-6 times, which is amazing. And if the content is great, then you will gain followers just from posting every day. But that's not necessarily going to be the strategy that everybody can do, because not everybody can post every single day. So if you do post really well, this next tip is going to be something you can do every single day. Use your stories, but use hashtags in your stories. 1 to 2 hashtags in your stories. You want to create stories that have to do with your focus. So going back to the music artist, if you're a music artist and you are practicing, you can very easily say, hey there you guys, practicing a new song, or I just want to check in and let you see what this looks like and sounds like, because I'm thinking about releasing this next. What do you think? Then you slide a little poll on there, and people have to shift through. Not only they can reach you through the stories poll, but they have to shift through the stories in order to hear what it sounds like. Because you've just now created a story really quick that takes like 2 seconds that's telling people what you're doing. Then the next story is playing a little snippet of what you're doing. And the next story, you know what I mean? So it can keep going. And you literally can create this so easily just by going to stories and starting to record a video. It will automatically create separate stories as you go through, or you can stop and create another one if you need time to like adjust, right? Or turn the music on or whatever it is. So by using stories, you can keep gaining people and access to people through the hashtags of those stories. I also noticed that more people watch my stories than anything else on my Instagram page. I can see there's hundreds of people watching these stories. And also, I noticed the other day that most of my traffic to my blog and most of my traffic to like a YouTube video is from my Instagram stories. And I was like, that's interesting. So I'm pushing people using the swipe up feature, or, you know, using the link in my description box, and pushing like hundreds of people a month to somewhere else. So then I thought to myself, well, let's try it the other way. Let's start posting, like sharing posts and snippets from videos and posts onto other profiles from Instagram. So not only can you do that when you post, right? But you could also do it just like go on Twitter, post a picture, and tell people where they can go and interact with that video or whatever it is that you have in content. Now, this is repurposing content because you've already posted the content, and you could maybe go back to a post that's like 9 posts ago or 10 posts ago, or something that really, really resonated with people and was great. And you can freshen it up and enliven it and use it as something to push people to this profile. So you would go, stories are only 15 seconds. I barely pay attention to stories, maybe just me. I think it's just you, because I get more traffic in my stories than anywhere else. And I think even the data that I've been reading has showed that so many people are in stories and they're watching these things. And I guess because they're more in the moment, you know what I mean? And I have to say, the people that I go to their Instagram page, if I see they have a story started and I like them and I'm used to seeing content from them, I do go check out their stories. So I think it's your own habits and how you use Instagram, right? But the majority of people are, and I'm moving a lot of traffic that way. So I would give it a try. I mean, if you want to build your audience, you know what I mean? Then you don't actually have to be a story watcher. I think it's fun though. I like it. All right. So, anyway, the other thing that I notice that is really, really big is I get 6 times more engagement and also likes and follows when I launch videos. Now, this can be a short video that you post to your profile, this can be a story video, or it can be a long form video that you put in Instagram IGTV, and then it front faces on your main account. Just be sure to use hashtags. So now I'm going to tell you about hashtags. Using hashtags wisely and then using hashtags are two different things. So whenever you use hashtags on your posts, they will help you for a long time, not just that moment. So if a post is constantly getting traction, so say you're out there and you're sharing a lead back to that post from Twitter or back to that post from Facebook or back to that post from your blog or wherever you are to try and bring people in, that hashtag can keep serving you. I have some older posts that have been up for months and I still get featured on the hashtags for them. And when you look at how many impressions it's made, I've gotten something like more than half of the impressions that the actual post has and continues to get is coming from the hashtags. But yet I see a lot of people coming from outside sources into that actual post. So I'm able to drive traffic from Twitter just randomly often. Like I can take an old post, like I said, and I can repurpose it out there on Twitter or another platform and drive people to it. And it's receiving that, it's boosting me back into hashtags and allowing that post to be popular again. So it's constantly working for me, which does speak back to why we want to create really good content to begin with. Because even if you're not doing it every day, if it's great content and it's evergreen and it's stuff that people will always like and speaks about your brand and speaks about what you do, it documents your process, it like shows you in the most favorable way, then it will keep working for you. It doesn't actually, become obsolete. Even music, especially music, I would think, like music videos are great. Okay, so now the next thing that will make sure that you guys are building an audience and keep that audience working for you is comments. Comments are big because comments are interaction, and people, the reason why they're there is because they want to know that you care and they want to know that you will answer them. So you should really, even if you can't post every day, take your time out to answer the comments and keep the conversation going. Because if you think about it, if you get one comment and you answer that person and you appreciate that person, that now becomes 2 to 4 comments depending on how the conversation goes. And if you had that times 12, you now have 24, 48, you have so many comments, right? So I looked at one of my posts the other day and it had gotten new comments because I had shared it out there on another profile and said, I talk about this in this video here. And then they went back and people were leaving new, fresh comments on it. So what was happening, it was starting to become one of my most popular videos on my Instagram page. I hadn't answered those comments and I noticed there were like 100 and something comments on there. By the time I answered them all, it turned into 300 comments. So it was no longer 100 comments. It went to 300 just by me answering them. Because 100, me answering turns it into 200. Them answering back because I actually participated turned it into 300, and it still keeps going from there. Now making it a really popular post that still shows up in the hashtags. So a lot of you guys are just thinking short term in terms of how you're using your Instagram account, and you're not thinking long term enough and what you're actually trying to build on your Instagram account. So back to focus. If it's focused and it's really great evergreen content, you've got lots of videos, you've got lots of really great stuff on there that has to do with what you love and want to be recognized for, then thumbs up. It's gonna work for you. if you keep interacting with people. Another thing that you can do that is a trick that really, really works, and I just told you it just 2 seconds ago, is when you go and answer your comments, you're reactivating conversations with people who already like you. So when somebody leaves a comment and you don't answer them, and you go back and you answer them and you actually stir that conversation and you see how they are, you're not only showing them that in good faith, you're someone they can trust, and that they are should be happy that they left a comment because you appreciate it and you really want to know more about them, or you go and visit their page and you leave a comment there on their page, or you appreciate them by showing them in stories. All this builds engagement, and by building engagement on your profile, oh my gosh, your post gets seen by so many more people, and people don't unfollow you after that. Algorithm changes. Yes, this all has to do with algorithm changes, because what they're doing, and thank you for bringing that up, Alan, is that they want more and more to just support and put the posts in front of people that are popular, that people are engaging with. So the algorithm will pick up if a post is actually on its way up, if it's being supportive, if it's active, if you are having a conversation with people as well as them, if it's keeping people on the platform, if you're directing people to the platform as a result of a post, they will weigh that post more. Because why? Because it's just the same as YouTube. If you're keeping people on their platform, they're going to say, oh, that video is good, or that post is good. I'm going to show it to people. I'm going to recommend it for them, because we've seen that people stay on it for longer. Another thing to do with content and the algorithm. If you have a really great video and it's engaging, people will stop at the video and watch it. And that's why video does so much better with the algorithm on Instagram than just a regular post. Because a regular post, people will slide by really quickly and they'll admire it. They might leave a comment. But a video, they have to stop, and you have that moment in time to solicit engagement, to make it as interesting as you can so that people will answer you. Just like you guys are answering me in stories right now. So like you're saying things as reaction to my video, right? This is why video is much more engaging than anything else, because if people aren't used to reading your comments and you're not great at writing, then you probably won't have a profile that it solicits engagement based on pictures. You might want to do it in video, and videos just serve you so well anyway. The next thing is, okay, so let's just recap before I go on. So first, focus on content. Make sure the content serves you and serves your audience. It has to offer value. It has to be exactly what you want to be known for. Don't make it distracting. Don't duplicate posts. And don't make it not serve the people that you want to attract and you want to know. So everything you put out there now, it should be something that serves your purpose, but also serves the audience. So if it's music, you're putting out music videos, you're putting out music lyric videos, you're putting out just a picture with music on it. You're putting out behind the scenes messages, videos from you. You're being really personable with your audience, right? You are definitely going in there and interacting with your audience. You're showing appreciation. Now you're going to take it to the next level. You're going to be generous. How are you going to be generous? Well, you're going to do the things that you want people to do for you. So, here's one thing you can do. You can go to someone's post that you like and that you want the attention of, and you can share it to your stories, and you can tell people why you liked it. So you create a little caption, you click share, and in that caption you say, I love this because, or this is awesome, or love this song, or whatever it is, whatever reason. This person is great, awesome speaker, so motivational. Anything. You just share it, and then you tag the person back in your story. The reason why, because if you want them to do that for you, if you want people to do that for you, you have to show people that you are doing it for them and doing it for others. And you will start this series of goodness that will help to get more people to your account. And finally, oh, and that also goes for comments, by the way. So stop by, don't just like people's posts, spend time, comment, see how they are, Send them a little message, say, hey, what's going on, and interact. It really, really does help. The final thing I'm going to give you today, and I will be back with more of these because there's so many good ones. The final thing I'm going to give you is, let me think. Oh, I know what it is. Find ways to make your Instagram page searchable. Now, you're going to say, Jack, Instagram isn't searchable. It's a private app. Nobody can search this content. That's what sucks about it. Yes, I know, but you can make it searchable, and here's how. All right, so I write stories for American Pride magazine. Everybody knows I write stories for American Pride magazine about things that are happening with people that are great. So I typically, as a journalist, will find great stories out there, like music milestones, people that have written a song that's inspirational. Maybe somebody wrote or created a video that really is about a cause or something like that. Or maybe somebody just reached 100,000 likes on their Instagram page, followers, or they just reached their first milestone on YouTube and they opened a business as a result of it. We write those kind of content. And what we do is we focus on one social media page that you can follow that person on. So the way that you can make Instagram searchable and your content searchable is by highlighting what it is that you focus that content on in a searchable blog article on someone else's platform. So if you don't have the followers, right, you don't want to waste time just putting it on your own platform because you don't have the followers. But if you put it in magazines, if you get people to write articles about you, which people do with me all the time. I write articles in AV Live Radio's music site. I write articles, features about newsworthy musicians for Indie Music Spin. I send articles into Huffington Post. I send them to I write for a lot of different magazines and a lot of different publications. And we always feature something. We always, if it's music, we try and figure out what we want people to do on that thing. So you could, if you wanted to build Instagram, you could create a bunch of press releases and start pitching that about what your Instagram page is now doing. So it could be like, I just hosted a new music video that is inspiring people to not feel so alone during coronavirus. Or I am going to do a video every single day in my stories or on my Instagram page, helping you to get inspired while you're sitting home with coronavirus. Anything that's newsworthy that you can think of, those are just two examples, is going to be searchable out on some other platform. And you can then draw people in 24/7 during that. So if it has a purpose. Now some of you guys will be musicians, right? So if I were a musician, what would I do? When I was making my music, maybe I would show people on a YouTube video how to design a track using this piece of equipment, or how I record my vocals using this Shure microphone, or what program I use to record and work in my own studio, or how I mix my track. It's a great way to introduce your music to people, but also show them something that you're doing somewhere else, right? So that video now would be purposed on YouTube, and it would attract viewers on YouTube. And in that video, you could say, I launch music every single day on my Instagram page. So be sure to come follow me over here. Now you have something that it's a piece of content out there that's searchable. You can actually give it to someone else, like a music blog that likes to post things about that. So they can now market it as purposeful content. But in the video, it tells people where you are on Instagram and how they can interact with you past that video. How could they interact with you every single day? All these type of things are pieces of the searchable content that you're creating and you're putting out there so that they keep working for you and pushing people back to the Instagram page that you really want to build. Now, I do this all the time. Do it in groups on Facebook. I do it in YouTube videos. I do it in blog posts. Blog posts actually are the biggest thing for me if we're posting about certain types of content and you want to build certain things. I mean, God, there's so many ways to do it. You know what I mean? So now you got to think, how am I going to make this searchable? Now, if that should go viral, which American Pride Magazine and Indie Music Spin actually are the two best ones for having content on them, that if it's really good content and is very purposeful, it actually goes viral and it sends people by the hundreds all the time and consistently back to where we want to send it to. We've built a lot of milestones, streaming milestones using those two platforms. So they're really good for it. So if you are crafty and you think a little further ahead and figure out what is evergreen content that you can come up with and create that would be interesting for your audience, you could host on Instagram and then you could post somewhere else and make it searchable, you have a winning ticket. Because man, that one piece, if it takes off, it could just feed you. It could just feed your Instagram page without you doing anything further. And that's just a really good piece of goodness that I can share for you guys. All right, so there's so many other ways to do this. Be sure to follow us on YouTube at AVA Live Radio if you want to learn more tips for Instagram. And let me just inspire you guys by reminding you that I have so many artists right now that are receiving $450 checks to actually post about brands in their stories. So, and it's brands that they use, like microphones and music equipment and just apps and all kinds of stuff, you know, t-shirts, I mean, just crazy stuff that they actually use and they like and they can try. People get paid every single day because they've built an Instagram following. So you could actually make your Instagram page a business that not only talks about what you love to do and talks about what it is that you do as a creator and helps build your career as a creator, but it also turns into a way that you can make some really good money. So think about that and get that to motivate you if it's not anything else. I would say you should use this time to build Instagram. It's so much fun anyway. All right, guys. Love you very much. Thanks for hanging in with me. And to catch this, because I'm going to erase the live stream, it won't be on repeat. You got to go to AVA Live Radio's YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe while you're there. And those of you who are already here, leave me a comment below and tell me what your Instagram page is. Because that's way I could go visit you on Instagram and we could all see what you're doing from these tips to make things better. That would be really cool, right? All right. Head on over to AVA channel, guys, so that you can share your Instagram page. That would be fun. I would like that. Yeah, guys, so if you watch the video all the way through, leave a comment below with your Instagram page so that I can go follow you and I can see some of these tips coming to life. My Instagram is Jacqueline Jax, and we're also on AVA Live Radio too.